fascinoso.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the Pittsburgh Invitational. And hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. We're at Oakmont Country Club in western Pennsylvania. Frank, the site of so many historic moments. Great players have made their mark here. Sam Snead, Ben Hogan, Jack Nicklaus, Ernie Els, a long and distinguished list.
Oakmont, if it's not the most difficult golf course in North America, Rich, it's certainly one of the most difficult golf courses. With its 210 bunkers, really personified by the church pews, the hard and slick greens that slope away from the player and the tight fairways, this golf course always requires the utmost precision.
It's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
Well, those are good numbers right there. 320, 320 yards. Just crushed it in the fairway. Down the hill here, going to play shorter. Well, you can hear it right off the center of the club face. This has a chance to be close. That is an excellent play right there. The approach, giving him another good look. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. That's not how you picture it, Frank, when you step on that first tee.
No, you'd like to go back to that first tee right now and start again.
Just a couple of feet. Has his par. Relatively short par 4, second hole. Frank, what's the right play off the tee here? It's probably not driver.
It certainly isn't. You need a decent yardage in for your second shot, so you don't really want to hit it past those last of the 6 bunkers on that right side. It leaves a shot of 100, 110 yards. There's another tee box a little further up where they can make it like drivable at 265 yards, but for such a short hole, this is sort of a fearsome one. You always feel like you're making a mistake when you're putting the ball on the tee. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Third shot, looking for a good one. Solid play, heart of the green. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Well, that was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
Sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
That's a bogey, but still in the lead.
We start to see shots in hand really valuable.
So here we are at the third hole, par 4, again 428 yards. Frank, have you ever seen anything quite like the bunkering that we have here on the left side of this hole?
No, the church pews, they're famous obviously for Oakmont, and they have that tendency to drag your eye to that left side. Really, you hit anything that you can get off on the fairway off this tee, whether it's a long iron, I don't care what it is. If you want to try and hit driver down there, well, good luck, because this really is about the second shot. Somehow avoid that trouble there so you've got a second shot.
Oh, it looked like he caught a flyer right there, Frank.
Well, I don't know what he caught, but this is way too much.
Wow, lucky break right there, Frank.
Well, that's what everyone else is going to say, except him. It's at sneaky distance.
Just a terrible misjudgment on the speed right there. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Good work right there. He'll settle for par. For those of you just tuning in, we're checking in now on our featured golfer here at the fourth. This has not been pretty so far in the second round. Frank, what are you seeing?
Ball's just going everywhere, out of control, really. A lot of poor decisions. So right now, we better see a turnaround.
That is an absolute seed. I mean, he just ripped a bullet down the fairway. Oh my goodness, 375 yards. Now from a good position in the fairway, his second shot.
This looks like it's going to find the target.
He's making the game look very simple right now. See it, hit it, and he's got it right on track. 12 feet still to go.
Rich, how can you leave an eagle putt short?
Well, you can't. I mean, that's embarrassing.
You can leave a par putt, birdie putt, an eagle putt.
Might want to just shut the game down. Quit playing. Good job right there. Now making a move and setting himself up for, who knows, a good weekend run, maybe at another title. The former college standout has been excellent today.
Oh, that's fine.
Frankie appears to be in control of his game in the early going.
I like what I'm seeing out there, doing all the basic things at a very, very high level, getting the ball in play. That helps set up the next shot. Next shot gets on the green. That's how it sets up the birdie putt. It's one thing leading to another.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
Playing beautiful golf. 8 under for the tournament. Par 3 sixth here at Oakmont. Frank, it's changed a bit since you played here in the U.S. Open back in 1994.
Yes, it has, Rich. They used to have a bunker behind the screen, sort of back left. They've removed that now and actually increased the back of this green. I'm not going to say it makes the hole that much easier. It just gives them a few more places to cut a flag when they choose to stick it in the back.
No problems there. Really good approach shot. And now, good look at birdie. Made par yesterday, this one for birdie. Well, Frank, it's our job to get excited.
You can't when you leave it short, though.
I'm sad.
He's making my job hard.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Never a bad score on the card. That's par. All right, Frank, take us down onto the 7th hole, par 4 at 434 yards.
Another one that's just another great driving hole. Bunkers on both sides of the fairway, so you can't really bail out either way. Used to be some trees in that down the right side. They've been removed, replaced now by fescue. So if you do miss those bunkers right or left, it's not exactly one of the easiest chip out to the fairway. Another one that's a must-hit fairway. Reason why? It's a long par 4, and it's the only way you can hit this par 4 and 2.
Frank, as we get set for this approach, what does our featured player need to do to regain some of that early round magic?
First, a bit of advice, really. Take a deep breath. Make sure all those bad thoughts get out of your mind. After that hot start, we all know they can play better than this, but they need to relax first of all and then let their game take over again.
So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
And he's made it onto the green now. Different day, different hole. Made bogey yesterday. He'll do better this time, it looks like. Oh, I thought he had that.
Oh, and it gets a good kick. It's only in the first cut.
Not too
That's
bad.
not too bad.
Frank, I like the way he sort of starts his swing a little bit on the outside and then drops it right on plane. "21 feet from pay dirt." Well, once you're on the green, I think you know this. The idea is to keep it on the green. This one's on the fringe. Well, once you hit double the par, it's time to just pick up and move on. The par 3 8th. This is where Angel Cabrera, Sunday at the U.S. Open in 2007, made a deuce, and it was set up to play at 300 yards on that final day. This is all you want, Frank, in a par 3.
Yeah, it was the first 300-yard par 3 ever in a U.S. Open.
Birdie try again here today. Looks like he just misread that. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. He'll take par and move on. Rounding out the front 9 here at Oakmont, Frank, it looks to be straight away, uphill. Anything to be cautious about on this tee shot?
Well, there certainly is. He is winding this one up. Does he have the power?
He makes a great pass at the golf ball. powerful, but it's rhythmic at the same time.
Huge with a capital H.
Moved it a long ways. Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Well, he's going to have to hit the same club a lot harder or just hit another one. Appears to be tracking well. What was he thinking there?
I have no earthly idea.
Excellent lead for birdie to move to 5 under for the tournament. Take a look now at the 10th hole, Frank. Par 4, 462 yards.
Yeah, this one can play a lot of different distances. And the reason why is if you can sneak a driver to catch the downslope, it can run all the way down. You can have just a wedge in here. If you're not as fortunate and you leave it hanging up on that hill, it plays a good 200 yards for your second.
Not on the fairway here. This could be a tough shot coming up next. Ends up in the first cut, and he'll have a pretty good look at the hole location from here. This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Put a birdie on the card here yesterday, don't forget. Birdie here yesterday, trying to do it again today. Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
Drops for a par. Moving on to the 11th hole here at Oakmont. Par 4, 379 yards. Good tee shot right in the short grass. Little uphill to this green, Frank. Early part of this second 9, a good approach shot, and now pretty good chance for birdie. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie. Well, you're not going to make that putt all the time, but you'd like to at least get it to the hole.
If he keeps putting like that, he's going to be an announcer in no time.
Sitting right now at 2 over par for the round.
Virtually no error in that putting stroke. Good putt.
Well, the par 5 12th here at Oakmont is no cupcake. It measures in at 667 yards. Frank, that one is long and it is straight.
Well, in baseball, that's a home run. In golf, that is a huge advantage over everybody else that plays the game. You imagine just teeing up on every hole knowing that you've got 20 or plus yards over your fellow competitors?
Frank made this hole just a little bit harder hitting it into the rough.
I would say a lot harder.
He'll need to be strong with this. Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Settles in over the putt. This is a pretty good performance right here. 6 under for the tournament. Well, Frank, what about this par 3 13th? Measures 183 yards.
It has a little bit of a crescent-shaped green, but it looks like the green should shape that way, but the actual contours of the green go in the opposite direction. The only good thing about that is chances are you've got an uphill putt.
Offline, and I think that one's headed for the rough. Pretty good result right there, considering
it looked rough all the way.
Exactly.
Rich, really did.
Frank going for 2 in a row now. In for birdie. Rich Lerner back with you at the 14th hole at Oakmont. And this is a hole that offers up a pretty good scoring opportunity, a short par 4 at 358 yards. Pretty short shot here into the 14th hole. This is a good-looking shot. Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Bogey here yesterday. Now this for birdie. That's how you keep a round going, make them from that distance. Well, how about this hole, Frank? 499-yard, par 4 15th. All you want.
Oh, that's for sure. The church pews down the left. It's about 340 yards to get all the way past them, so that's not really an option. Bunkers down the right side, really, they tell you, you've got to somehow hit something in between both of those. And the reason why it's another fairway you want to hit is a long second shot. It's a little uphill to a green that, well, just like all the others, is going to take something special.
It's a big shot right here, second to the 15th hole. This one's looking good. And it makes the green in regulation. Boy, this could be a tough one right here, Frank.
It's a very long putt, Rich. Obviously, it's difficult, but he still has a shot to sink this one for birdie.
That may have been a bit too much to ask for there that distance putt, Frank.
Yeah, it's fine to be greedy before you hit the putt, but after you've hit it, 2 from that distance is fine.
Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Locked in on the read and the speed. That's a bogey, but still in the lead.
We start to see shots in hand really valuable.
Frank, this is a point in the round where you really need to summon your best stuff. Par 3 of 231 yards. You know the pressure's building. We're at the 16th hole, and you have a long iron in hand. You can't flinch. You can't take it halfway back and go. This has to be the complete swing, and you have to really have the nerve on this shot.
Yeah, this shot has to be hitting right out of the button, that's for sure. One thing to consider, though, in the back of your mind, it's always better putting back uphill. Well, uphill is actually from the back of the screen. So you actually can be a little braver on 16 than what you might think standing on that tee, because a little long is better than a little short.
Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it is going to hurt the cause.
Has his par. Now on to the 17th hole, and Frank, in so many ways, this determined the outcome of the 2007 U.S. Open. Jim Furyk had his issues here. It's just 313 yards, but it can really play with a player's mind.
It's such an unusual par 4 for a U.S. Open, plus also where it comes in the round, because the options, and there's only really 2, is like a 4 or 5 iron, you sneak it up the right side, or you take a driver directly at the green. You would think there's something in between, but really there isn't. And that's why, to your point, it stopped Jim Furyk, it stopped Tiger Woods, it allowed Cabrera to win. It also helped Ernie Els, who went with the driver option there back in 1994. So 17, it's short, it's tempting, it is at a US Open, but it is still demanding.
Frank, this is a player in full flight right now.
It looks too easy right now.
Great finishing hole here at Oakmont, Frank, the 18th.
I remember back in 1994, this was the last hole in a US Open ever played by Arnold Palmer. You couldn't pick a better finishing hole. To win a championship or say farewell.
That is a fantastic long shot.
There's no way he could hit that without a tail breeze. Surely that breeze had to help there.
Now the second shot here at the finishing hole at Oakmont in the U.S. Open Championship. And Frank, what is the key here?
That second shot, last part, plays a little bit uphill. Remember, there's a false front on the screen, so this ball does not land at least 5 or 6 yards on the front of the screen. It's going to come back. And there's a little swale in the middle. This ball has to be judged correctly.
Great way to finish off the final approach shot with a birdie opportunity. This for another birdie on this hole on the week. Frank, that's not one you're necessarily thinking about making.
No, just a good putt, though. There's no two ways about that. He's putting well.
Workmanlike hole. He walks away with a par. So all the scores have been posted for round number 2, and look who is on top of the leaderboard, Frank.
Yeah, with 2 very solid rounds of golf. Key right now, just stay out of your own way and keep it up. The pressure will start to build. We know that as you get closer to the end of this tournament.
That's my song right here. TBT Naruto. Over and out.